All right, what can I do for you?
Hey man, I just had a few questions. I actually wrote them
Sure.
down. Give me one second. Let me pull up the document. I'm fairly new to wholesaling. I finally just started to actually try and take action.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So the few questions I only got a handful for you. As of right now.
No, do your
My
thing.
first question. So how do the creative finance deals actually work? Because I've only understood the cash. I never really knew you could do the creative finance.
Okay, so what are you asking exactly?
So typically a cash deal the obviously the after you get under contract you go to the buyer and they're gonna purchase it in full. With the creative financing, it's a little bit different. And I guess I understand it, but why would that be more, or why would it be beneficial? Because in my eyes, I feel like when I present an offer to somebody with the creative financing, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it kind of wouldn't make sense to some sellers, because what if they're paying more for the property than we're giving them per month? You know?
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to touch on. The first one is the mindset for someone who's going to buy a fix and flip or a cash deal like what you're used to is completely different than the buyer that's going to buy a buy and hold. Someone who's buying a buy and hold doesn't particularly care too much what the purchase price is as long as the deal cash flows. So let me give an example between the two. Let's say you've got one buy and hold investor and you've got one fix and flip. We'll use me and you, right?
Hmm.
So you're a buy and hold guy. You've got $100,000 to spend, and someone comes up with a property that's $50,000. ARV is 120, right? Needs work, and you buy it. Now you've got $50,000 to rehab that property and hopefully make 30, 40 grand, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So me, if I have that same $100,000 and I buy five rentals through creative financing at $20,000 a pop, now I've got cash flow for five different deals that's going to bring me positive revenue every single month, every single year. So the mindset is completely different. I, as a buy and hold investor, I'm never going to sell my properties because they're bringing me cash flow. So I don't care what they're worth. I don't care what the ARV is. I don't care how much they cost. I care about how much cash flow they're bringing me every single month.
Okay.
So you can buy a lot as an investor, you can buy way more properties for the same amount of money that you would spend on a cash deal because the entry fee is so cheap.
Okay. And that kind of leads me right into my next question.
Hmm.
Um, so obviously, if I'm wholesaling this, my assignment fee. So when I say I traditionally, I put my the property into Deal Sniper, I get the whole email, and I send that to the seller.
Hmm.
Do I have to change the numbers to the seller? Like, do I have to up my down payment to the seller, or do I send that email as is and then take it to the buyer, and then I would how would I explain my assignment fee then?
Yeah, you're taking it to the buyer. You were on the right track.
Okay,
So
so then I
let's
just
look at this deal, for example, right? It's a creative deal, seller finance, $150,000 purchase price, $10,000 down. I want to make a $10,000 assignment. It'll rent for 1,500 bucks. If I go to this tab down here, the purchase price for the seller is 160, or for the buyer is 160 because of my assignment fee. And then their total entry fee is 23,000, 10,000 for the seller, 10,000 for me, and then 3,200 for the closing costs.
so
So
I'm
now, and
presenting. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to make
all
sure
right, go
I
ahead.
get it. So I'm presenting my the offer to the seller just with that 140. I'm not mentioning the 150, however much it was, and then I'm going to the buyer and then explaining the fee.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to explain the fee. Like, do you tell when you did cash deals, you told your investors how much you were charging, like how much you were making on the deal?
No, I haven't done anything yet because I wanna understand this before I
Oh,
sound
gotcha.
really
Yeah.
stupid.
No, you're just gonna send the offer or the dispo material, however you dispo your deals, you're just going to market your deal for 160,000 with a $20,000 entry fee. They don't need to know that 10 of that is going to the seller. All they need to know is how much it's going to cost for them to buy this property. And in this case, it would cost them 23,000 to buy this $160,000 property. They don't
And
need to know where that 20,000 is going after closing.
okay, okay. So I don't have to mention it to the seller just when I'm like
You don't have to mention it to the buyer either. You just tell the buyer how much it costs.
yeah,
Hey
no,
man,
no,
I got
not
this
I don't mean
property.
like literally mention it, but like
Oh, okay.
the extra 10,000 basically I'm kind of adding on
You're
towards
to
the
the purchase
buyer.
price. Yes, that's correct. And you're
Okay.
adding that, whatever your assignment fee is, you're adding it to the purchase price and the down payment.
Okay. So then, oh, I also did have one question. Where do I find off-market deals? I was told PropStream is really good for that. Is that true?
There are a lot of different ways people find off-market deals. You can drive for dollars. You can look up tax liens. You can look up code violations. You can use PropWire. You can use batch leads to pull lists and skip trace them. There's a lot of different ways that you can pull off-market lists, and that is one of them.
Okay. Do you think PropStream would be a good one?
I'm assuming it's very similar to batch leads. I've never used PropStream. I've only ever used batch leads, and batch leads works fine.
Okay. It does batch leads require a monthly fee to it?
Yeah.
And what would that monthly fee be?
Oh, off the top of my head, I don't know. I think it's like $100, 120, something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's like the same. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then how do I so there's a calculator with the on Deal Sniper itself?
There is a calculator on Deal Sniper, but then there's the one that I always recommend people use is the here, I'll show you. So here's the calculator for Deal Sniper, but this here only breaks down Section 8 and then it breaks down long-term rental. It can't break down subject twos properly. It can't break down hybrids. So I
Mhm.
always recommend people use the deal machine calculator that we made.
Where do I find that at?
And it's in the Discord on the left. There's a link at the top.
Uh, I'm sorry, man. Where do I? You said at the top?
Yeah, go to the left side. You're going to look for deal machine calculator. It's a
Okay.
channel. And then at the top of that channel, once you click on it, there's a link. And then there's a video right below it showing you how to use it.
Okay. Oh, this isn't too bad then. So I'm basically just taking the numbers that I get and honestly just plugging them into the right spot then.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And I
okay.
definitely watch that video so you can see where everything goes. Otherwise, you can get stuck on one thing and it'll throw your whole numbers off.
Okay. All right. And how do I figure out? So say like it's a typical cash deal. How do I figure out the ARV?
But you'd have to comp the deal out.
So is that just basically just taking like properties that were gutted and fixed up like in the within the general area?
Yeah, there's a couple of rules that you're going to want to follow. Everybody's rules are a little bit different. The ones for my team is you want to keep your comp within a mile, ideally a quarter of a mile. You wanted apples to apples, the same size bedrooms and bathrooms as your subject property. It
Hmm.
needs to be completely renovated and it needs to be sold within the last 90 days. You can go back 6 months, but 90 days is ideal.
Right. Sorry, I'm just writing everything in here so I make sure I can retain the information.
And then the other thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure you don't cross any bridges, you don't cross any freeways, we don't cross any train tracks, large bodies of water, or large bodies of land.
All right. So you kind of just really want to keep it like within the
Very,
general
yeah,
roads that
same
it's like
neighborhood.
okay. All right. And then what would you say? I know Facebook's a really good one. I actually already got like a handful of people, legitimate buyers that sent me their buybacks on my email. How do I find like active buyers, or the best way I should say?
The best way or the most inexpensive way?
Either or.
The best way is going to be investor lift and investor base.
Is that's a website?
Yeah, those are platforms where buyers go to find deals and wholesalers go to sell them. I think investor lift is like $7,000 a month, and I believe investor base is like 5,800 a month.
Okay. Mhm.
And then you'd have to get trained up on Artemis mode. You have to get trained up on God mode, cartel mode. But yeah, they're all in there. I mean, the trainings are in there.
So then would say like if you like just starting out, would you recommend like I do like Facebook, stuff that I can do like for little to no cost, or would you recommend like buying something like that?
I would try the Facebook route first, let wholesaling make you some money, and then reinvest into yourself and then get those products.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think that makes sense. Um, oh, I think that might be all. Give me 1 minute. Let me think of something.
Do your thing.
I just want to make sure I don't have any like roadblocks or anything like that. So I know Calvin was saying, because I've been in his lives recently for the
Mm-hmm.
past few lives that he's done in these last this last week. The Oh, God dang it. I just lost it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So the contracts that he has in his TikTok bio, I know he actually lives in Milwaukee. I actually live in Waukesha. I probably live like 20 minutes from him. Are those contracts going to be good for Wisconsin?
Um, how do you mean?
So, because in the contracts, let me pull it up really quick. It says let me pull it up. Give me one second. So it says like at the top it has a disclaimer, the real estate purchase, blah blah blah, saying if basically you should like consult with an attorney. Is he saying that because like people might be wholesaling in other states, like is this what he actually uses, or do you guys use something else?
This is what he actually uses.
Okay, so it would be good then for Wisconsin, because I'd be looking to do it in the Milwaukee and Waukesha area.
Absolutely. And then again, you can always utilize Facebook too for the disposition side before spending money on investor for investor base. But if you're talking about Milwaukee and the Waukesha area, those are really big markets and those are great markets for wholesaling. All you really need is this.
Okay, perfect. Both contracts then I assume would be good. The purchase and sale and the assignment one, they'd both be okay.
Yep. And those are in the channel if you haven't seen them already.
Yeah, yeah. I had emailed to me and all that. Um, and do you recommend? Because I know like the emails like are really easy. Do you recommend like cold calling too, or you kind of think I should email, text? What's the best route to go?
Again, that depends. Do you have more time than money or more money than time?
More time than money.
Then yeah, I would skip trace the list and cold call it. Get your hands dirty.
Sweet, sweet. And so with Deal Sniper, this is basically like, is this essentially only for like creative financing offers, or can I like use this to then present like a cash offer, or would that be a little bit different?
No, I mean you can, but I don't ever recommend putting cash offers for on-market properties because of what the formula has to be in order to move those to an investor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 60% of what it's listed for, minus rehab, minus assignment. So, for example, if it's $100,000 house and it needs $10,000 worth of work, the most you're going to offer them is 40 grand. And the
Yeah.
chances of someone taking $40,000 on a $100,000 house they have listed
Right.
is pretty low.
Right. So on market creative financing is a little bit easier to get deals, and then if you find the off market deals, that's where you kind of want to see if you can get cash for them.
Correct.
Okay. Mhm. And then you can still like you could still do like creative financing for off market deals too, right? Like it'd be the same thing, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay. Say I found a deal that's off market and I can still put that address into Deal Sniper, right? And it'll still come up, or will it not?
It'll come up, just the numbers may, the taxes, the insurance, and the rent will be accurate. But as far as what it's going to offer as an asking price, since it's not listed, it's going to base it off the Zestimate, which isn't always accurate.
Okay. Okay. So that would just be something like I gotta change on my end then.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And so, I mean, I guess I probably already asked this, but like, starting out, because I haven't gotten my first deal yet. I've literally just like started putting everything into action, like honestly, a few days ago.
Okay.
Um, what do you recommend I do in order to close my first deal within the first 30, 60, 90 days?
Send out at least 20 offers a day every single day using Deal Sniper. Respond and underwrite positively to the realtors that send you back a good letter or a good response. Underwrite those deals, negotiate with them, check with me and the community to make sure that the numbers are good. Stick to the SOPs to make sure you've always got a good deal. And as long as you bring a good deal, you should have no problem selling it.
Okay. And I might be a little bit slow, but what do you mean by underwrite?
Using the calculator, the deal machine calculator.
Okay, okay,
Once a real estate agent responds with anything other than no, and there's a chance that the deal can go through, then you want to use the deal machine calculator, because a lot of times a real estate agent is going to want to negotiate. So we may offer a $500 payment and they're going to ask, well, what about 600? What about seven? What about 1,000? We're going to offer them a max of 10% down, but what if they ask for more? So you use this calculator to figure out if the deal works, and what you're looking for is to make sure that number is ideally under 15, but no more than 20. And this number is always at least 10%. And as long as the rest of the numbers are accurate, you're good to go.
so then you're really just looking for like, say they came back at me for, let's say, more money per month.
Hmm.
As long as it's still bringing in like positive cash flow, it'd still be a good deal essentially.
As long as it's at least 10% cash on cash return. Correct. That's here.
At
And then you
ten
need to make sure
percent.
that number, the entry fee percentage, doesn't go above 15, or definitely no more than 20.
Okay, like the down payment.
No, the total entry fee. So the down payment needs to be no more than 10%, but we're counting realtor commissions, down payment, assignment fee, closing costs. All of that is involved in the entry fee percentage.
And then do the buyer that I go to, would they pay their fees and stuff like that, or is that something I have to handle? How does that work?
No, the buyer pays for all the EMD, the closing costs, the real estate commission for the real estate agent, everything.
Do most
You're-
buyers like know that already, or is that something like I gotta explain to every single one?
no, I mean, you just tell them that you're looking at a total entry fee of about $23,200, and this will always give you the number.
Oh, okay. And so the closing cost, that's where you're including basically all that
Yeah,
other
so
stuff.
this one includes the closing costs and the assignment fee and the down payment. And if there was a realtor commission in this deal, let's say it was 5 grand, then it would add it to that too. So now the total entry fee is going to be about $28,200.
Okay. Okay. So right where it says cash on cash return to the right,
Hmm.
that's where you want to see 10% or more.
Correct. And the higher, the better.
Okay. All right. Um, mm, think you might have answered anything. If I come up with more questions, am I able to like schedule more one-on-ones? with you
Yeah,
as
as
well.
long as you've gone through the content on the channel, because most questions can be answered there, and then I'll do anything I can to fill in the gaps. Absolutely.
Okay. And I know everybody's pretty active in that chat. If I get any questions, are most of the people good in there to where I can ask them questions too, or?
Um, yeah, it's hit or miss. A lot of the people in there are still new and learning. I'm in there 19 hours a day, so you can always just tag me, and I'll
Okay.
answer the question. And if someone else can answer it, they will. People are pretty good about not answering questions they don't know the answer to.
Okay. And then I think I sent, let me see. I think I sent Calvin a question. I think it was like yesterday, but I don't think I got a response. Let me. Oh, nope. It was actually about the contracts, and you already answered that. So thank you very much. Yeah, I believe I got everything for now. I mean, if I got any more, I can, I'll text that chat. And yeah.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, let me know if you need anything else, and good luck to you.
All
We'll
right,
make it
Sean.
rock and roll.
I really appreciate your time, man.
Not a problem. Have a good rest of your day.
You as well.
See ya.